Anyone can sell electronics. At Electronics Expo, they do more than sell products. They design, install, and support complete technology solutions. From home theaters and whole home audio to lighting, shades, automation, networking, security cameras, and premium entertainment systems. For over 22 years, they've helped thousands of homeowners experience technology at its very best. See the difference for yourself. Visit their Wayne or Paramus stores in New Jersey or shop now at electronicsexpo.com.
What if the cost of that is much higher prices in gas, maybe even we run out of gasoline or boots on the ground? Is that a reasonable price to pay in order to take out the regime for America, not for Israel, but you're an American.
I'm an American, and I'm a MAGA Trump guy. I love President Trump. If you're watching, I love you. We need to win in November. That's the bottom line. And to your point, Rachel, no, this is disastrous at this point. But the Israelis don't care. And the truth is, for America, if we're going to win this, there's only one way to win. You know, I keep hearing, well, diplomacy, let's have an honest conversation. That's not going to happen. I'm guaranteeing this audience right now, Iran will never agree to a deal. And if they do, they will never comply.
No one's been more right about this Iran conflict than me. Bottom line. And we're nowhere. Okay? Midnight Hammer, huge success. Operation Epic Fury, huge success. The last couple of months, stuck in mud. John Solomon joined the White House a couple of weeks ago as an unpaid special government employee to lead a task force on government transparency. His role focuses on identifying withheld documents regarding election integrity, weaponization, and the 2020 election. While in this temporary government advisory position, Solomon has stepped aside as the editor-in-chief of Just the News, a media outlet, of course, he founded, though he continues his commentary and reporting work. In fact, he continues it right now, because here he is back on Sid and Friends in the Morning. I love this guy, John Solomon. I guess let me start with congratulations, John.
Thank you. Yeah, I was at 5 or so this morning looking through some documents. We're working hard to get a large number of documents out over the next few weeks. I think people will begin to see the secrets that they've been kept from for a very long time. So I'm very excited to be part of this work. Got a great team that we're working with, and you'll start to see the fruits of our labor very soon.
You know, with 9/11 coming up, the 25-year commemoration, and I started this Monday, John. I know you and your family listen. I play a cut every day that relates to that day, and it's mostly because I hate the mayor. And I'm disgusted by the disrespect with this big date coming up. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. That's my motivation. But Rudy Giuliani was so brilliant, and his life has been ruined because he really believed. He did. I know he worked for the president, but he really believed, as does Trump, that 2020 election was rigged. And he's taken a beating for it. Are you telling me, John, that sometime sooner than later, you're going to provide some proof that'll free my boy Rudy Giuliani?
Well, let the public decide how good the proof is. We are definitely on going back a very long time, 2 decades, really. We're looking at things about election integrity and security and weaponization that have not yet been released, that have been kept from us. We've had lots of investigations. It turns out even those investigations didn't turn up some very significant secrets. So the questions that we would like to answer, we don't know what they're going to be yet because we're still going through the documents. Are election machines secure? What has the intelligence community known about them? And has there ever been any evidence of cheating that didn't get prosecuted? What did we know about that? Who in the intelligence community didn't tell Congress or didn't tell a president about vulnerabilities that should be fixed? Do we have a glass chin going into the 26th election when it comes to the stability or security of our elections? And so those are the questions. The answers are going to be in the documents, and we'll have to wait and see. I'm always a guy that likes to wait and see what we got before I predict. But, you know, this is an important mission, but it's not just about elections. It's about the abuse of intelligence powers, the abuse of law enforcement powers, the invasion of our privacy. Perhaps our Fourth Amendment isn't as robust as we thought in recent years. Maybe we're being spied on more. So those are all questions that we're trying to get to the bottom of. Until we get to them, we don't know the answers. So we'll wait and see. But I go in with an open mind. Everyone does. And we'll see what the evidence shows. I think we'll start to produce some evidence in the next couple of weeks that people will begin to make their own assessments about where we go with it.
Spied on more. I mean, I've seen stories about people walking into supermarkets, people walking into, these big supermarkets, and there's like something on their hand. I don't know. They take some type of handprint or something, and the next thing you know, I mean, this is straight out of George Orwell, 1984. Yeah. They know everything about you, and the customer doesn't even realize that. How is that okay?
We are in a surveillance society, and by the way, it goes well beyond our government. Now, there are some obviously very concerning things that we've learned about our government and our surveillance. The fact that they were getting bank records out with subpoenas, the fact that they got the FBI director and White House chief of staff's phone records. We know that to be true, that they were getting phone records on members of Congress despite the protections of the separation of powers in the Constitution. So, but it goes beyond that. We have these large, massive data farms that private companies have created. You saw what TikTok was doing. I think we will learn that China was infiltrating significant, important data about every American that goes beyond just their social media habits. Maybe gets down to their driver's licenses, their Social Security, their voter registration cards. There's so much in the surveillance society we are, and private companies collect it, foreign powers hack it, and all of a sudden the foreign powers have the benefit of that espionage, of that privacy information. I think that surveillance society that we're living in, there's a reckoning moment for all of us to figure out how do we make this better. We're too smart a country to allow this level of information security weakness to exist.
Totally agree. John Solomon joining us right here. So, look, you heard what I said. I played that clip again, me on Fox News. Again, I think that Midnight Hammer was a huge success. That's why the Iranians can't build a nuclear weapon. It has nothing to do with the last 2 months. Nothing.
That's right.
Right. Epic Fury, big deal. Great job. Wiped out Khomeini, 3 other levels, and showed them that here we come. But I've said this to you. You've been on the show quite a bit now, John. Yep. The last couple of months, we've been stuck. We've won nothing. We've won. For the president to say it, I get it. He's the president. What do you expect him to say? But there's a lot of smart people I talk to every day that are saying the same thing. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. We've won nothing. Can you make an argument we've won this war?
Well, if you take the objectives that were given to us, when the military action started, we achieved those objectives. We got rid of Iran's Navy. We got rid of its Air Force. We got rid of most of its military-industrial complex. We got rid of its nuclear weapons capabilities. We substantially reduced the size of the Revolutionary Guard, those were the objectives. We accomplished that by March or April very clearly. So from a military objectives to victory, yes. The goal of getting to a peace deal always was going to be the sticky wicket. I think you and I talked about this could be cat and mouse, right? We'd go for a while, then Iran would act bad, we'd whack them, we'd get back to the table. I think that's played out exactly the way that you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. The ultimate problem for President Trump, and I think you and I talked about this, was his desire to get a peace deal may run into the fact that the Iranians can't, or not possible to be trusted to accept such a peace deal. And I think that's the point the president reached the last couple of days. He gave them a few months. Every time they acted bad, he punished them more. Then he gave them a little trust. Let's open up. We'll give you a little bit of money. They'll do a little bit of oil sales. And what did they do? They acted bad. So the president, like punishing a recalcitrant teenager, basically now said, we're done with this. We're finished. We'll see if that happens, or whether the negotiators come back and say, give us one more shot, boss.
Oh, come on.
But at the end of the day, Iran has proven for 47-plus years it is not a trustworthy member of the world community. It prefers violence over peace.
That's right.
It prefers radicalization over normalization. It wants nuclear weapons. It hates America. It hates Israel. And that's a very difficult enemy to negotiate with. Could there be a deal? Possible. But I think at this point the president is going to go in and finish some more military objectives and then declare it done and leave Iran in a set of rumble.
No disrespect. You're a lot smarter than me. It's not possible. It's not possible.
I think that's exactly the president.
To be honest, every time Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner walks off a plane, I find it to be embarrassing for the United States. I really do.
Yeah, I understand the dynamic. I also understand the president's desire to give peace a chance. But, in 4 months, 3 months, he's made a pretty clear decision. Yesterday, the language, the body language, everything the president said tells me that he's kind of finished with this. He gave them 3 months. He tried everything. He even gave them some rope and let them act badly and give them a chance. But I think he's determined now that this is not a country that ever wants a peace deal. And I think you're right. I think what we will do is finish our military objectives, leave Iran in a complete rumbled state, and then go back and do the other things that America needs to do. But I think that what will happen in the next few weeks, in the reporting I've done, you have a growing number of civilian leaders that don't want any more war. They understand that. Then you have the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard. They are just radical nuts, and they just continue to tug that. So I think the president will thin out the Revolutionary Guard. There were 47,000, I think, of their troops at the beginning. They're down below 30 from the reporting I've done. If you get them down below 10 or 5, they're not a big a threat anymore. So I think they'll keep eradicating them and then maybe give the Iranian people a chance not to be suppressed by the IRGC and maybe take their country back. I think that's probably where he ends up. And then we go back to the business of all the other things America has to do, including the elections this fall.
Right, which is really important. And the final 60 seconds, John Solomon, and again, congratulations. Now, John, part of that SGE crew working at the White House, and we couldn't find a better American and a smarter guy than John. I don't remember this because, I spent a lot of years talking about Eli Manning and Carmelo Anthony, but at what point exactly did Erdogan and Turkey become our friends, where they get more compliments than Bibi and Israel? Can you help me out here, John?
Well, it's been a member of NATO for quite some time, and that always was a question for people. Was that a good move? And in some moments in history, it's proven to be a good move. Turkey's done things that were beneficial to the United States. In other moments in history, it's been a troublesome move, and Turkey's acted badly. It has ambitions of restoring the Ottoman Empire. When you listen to Erdogan, he has this much like Putin, this romanticized idea that he's going to create a new conquest. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. The recent comments by President Trump are designed to reward good behavior. Turkey didn't support the bad guys or get behind Iran. And secondly, they've been trying to create a more normalized relationship in Syria. Syria was the other Iran. Remember Assad, one of the great state sponsors of terrorism? President Trump yesterday proposed removing Syria from the state-sponsored terrorism list because Syria's been acting good. Turkey's been a big part of trying to push that dynamic. Now, it's fragile. It could go sideways just like Iran, but Syria is going in a direction that Iran hasn't proven to go yet, and that is they're trying to become a more normal nation and become part of the Western world. That can be one of the great hidden successes of Trump's foreign policy.
John Solomon, you're amazing. You really are. So, again, congratulations on this White House position, and please just keep coming on with me because I love you.
It. My whole family listens to your show, so every time I'm on, I'm talking to my family. It's great.
I love it. John, you're great. Thank you so much. Great job.
Take care.
You are terrific. John Solomon, right here on Sid and Friends in the Morning. Once again, editor-in-chief of Just the News. But these days, he's got a very important job with the White House, with the special government employee leading a task force on government transparency, which, of course, we could always use more of that.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?